Well, LAFC just can't stop losing. They lost their fourth game in a row tonight, losing 3-2 to Nashville SC, and they look more lost than ever and like they need some leadership from somebody, more specifically their manager, which they don't have. So we're going to talk about this game with my friend Nick from the Voice of Black and Gold, break it down of what we saw, what we were disappointed with, and everything in between. But before we get into that, guys, make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget that MLS Moves was presented by FanDuel. All right, Nick, another loss for LAFC. This is the first time since 2021 that they've lost 4 games in a row. What's your initial thoughts on this game?
Marc Dos Santos out, JT out. That's what I'm putting right now, and I mean every word of it. If you watched our show last week, you know I am 100%. Marc has to go. 3 months ago, even you and we did a thing, and I said, hey, look, Will, I'm going to give him so many games. The games have been had, and there is no more waiting around. This team is broken. Enough is enough. That's going to be most likely what our show will be called tomorrow. We can't have it. Coming back from the World Cup, I expect that this team will look a lot different. And if not, I think that's where the JT out has to come in. You hire your friend isn't cutting it. He has to go. What is it, 4 games in a row? But you and I went and looked back at it. If we really go back deep in it, they were having a bad run since San Jose, to be completely honest with you. And it's just been one game after another. So how many excuses can you have, right? Oh, we're running for the CCC. Oh, we're doing all this travel. Excuses after excuses. But the results aren't there, and nothing is changing, from bad lineups to bad formations to wrong subs. Marc has to go. And if JT does not make that happen, for sure by the time that they're back from the World Cup, then JT needs to go.
So in their last 8 games, they are last 9 games, they are 2 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses. And so it's been pretty ugly, right? Since that San Jose game, it's not been very good. But as far as the team tonight, I just want to talk about the performance, right? If you look at the stats, the team played well tonight on paper, right? I mean, the attack had some opportunities. This is probably the best the attack has looked in a while as far as chances. In the first half, they had 12 shots, 6 on target. I thought the front 3 looked pretty solid between Denis, Sonny and David, compared to what we have seen before, though. Compared to what we've seen earlier in the season, this is not the worst they've looked, but it didn't matter.
So I'm going to agree and disagree with you there. I think that Sonny looked really good. I think David Martinez looked decent. I think Bawanga is completely missing. There was opportunities there. On one of my first posts, I put the first 3 minutes, it looked like, oh my God, LAFC is going to be great. We had 2 or 3 shots out on goal. And then it fell right back into the same routine of crap. Absolute dog crap. And look, Sonny was out there trying to do everything he could. Denis did have a nice pass to get to Martinez, for Martinez to get on the back end of that net right there, to make it 2-1. But Denis is not there right now. I mean, yeah, he ended up getting one in, which was a beautiful goal, but he looks a little lost out there right now. Martinez has been one of the standouts in those games that you were just talking about, but I thought Sonny looked good. Denis needed to step up in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and I think that it's like you said earlier about them not having any identity, right? Mm-hmm. Like it just feels like, Hany Mukhtar went crazy tonight. He had a hat trick, right? But in the first, he came back out of the time machine, tonight, because he's not been as consistent, but he was good tonight. He had a hat trick. He had 2 goals in the first half, and you could just tell who this team was really missing. Now, you say they don't have any identity, and I agree with that, but their one identity they do have is who's in goal. His name is Mr. Hugo Lloris. And when they put him out there tonight, I hope all the fans saw what would happen if it weren't for that man this season, as far as how much he saved them. Because with the poor average, whatever you want to call it, goalkeeping, I think it was poor, but you just see what would the results would probably be this year if it weren't for him.
So in our chat, I literally put, this is what happens when we don't have Hugo. If Hugo's there, I don't know if Mukhtar makes those free kicks. They are beautiful, but I think that Hugo stops one. So then we might be looking at a draw. But again, look, Will, you just said, what was it, 9 games out of those 9. To be fair, Hugo has saved us a lot of those games. Other games, you know what I mean? The ones that we have won, the ones that we ended up drawing. Hugo has done a great job this year of saving LAFC. He has been the light of it. And so if without Hugo, we have more games like this today. Very frustrating, losing. That's just, it is what it is. But we can't make an excuse, bro. That's the thing. Like, the excuses are out of the window. Right? Like, there is no more excuses to be had. It is not good enough. And it goes back to the lineup, the formation, when we're doing our subs, the subs that are coming in. I mean, there is a list that we could go down that just isn't cutting it and just isn't good enough. And that all starts with the coaches and then the front office.
Yeah. And, I honestly thought maybe we might see them pull off a win, right? Whenever you count them out, sometimes teams will prove you wrong and get a result, right? But this team is just broken. Like, I've been saying this for a couple weeks. You've been saying this. I've never been sold on Marc Dos Santos. I've been saying since day one, the dude is not a good manager. He is not qualified to be coaching this team.
Yep.
He's an assistant manager at best on a team, probably a bad team. And I just think that his flow and his feel for the match is not good. And it has never been good, right? Yeah. Now, tonight we saw Aaron Long on the bench. He had started a couple games. We had saw Delgado start off the bench. I can't remember the last time he came off the bench. Estacio, I mean, this is about, if we're talking about players who have at least had a decent game this season, this is as close to the best 11 you would want outside of Tillman starting and Hugo Lloris not starting, right? That's about as close to the best 11 you would want outside of those two guys, right?
Yeah.
But it just didn't make a difference. And it just shows that this team just has so many flaws. And the midfield is still an issue. Now, I thought Estacio did make it look a little better tonight. I do think he looked, he had some key passes that you're just not seeing from Tillman. You're not seeing from Delgado, and you're not seeing from Chouanier. But it's still just not enough, Nick. Like you just mentioned a minute ago that this team is going to look completely different in August when they get back from the World Cup break.
So.
You hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man, if they don't win against Seattle, which we'll talk about that in a second, I'm hoping they got a new coach when the World Cup is over with.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I hope it's a new coach. I hope we bring in new players. I mean, you seen tonight, Tillman, awful, god awful.
When is he not though?
I've had his back some because I feel like he's always being played out of position. He's constantly being asked to do things that he shouldn't be doing. He's asking to fill holes for Martinez when that isn't his job. So I definitely have his back some. Horrible, absolutely horrendous last 4 games. Not good enough. I am not on the Delgado train. Delgado left last year for me. So I was happy to not see him on. Long is a weird one, right? Because he goes from being our captain to getting hurt. And you have Tafari and Porto out there, Porteous, but we call him Porto, that are the duo that we all really want to see out there. When you put Long in, it sort of messes things up. You feel like the flow hasn't been as good that Long went in. It sort of like messed up their rhythm a little bit. And so I was happy to see that Long wasn't getting the start, that he didn't have the armband because for me, it should be Hugo with the armband. But it was good to see Hollingshead out there. I thought Hollingshead had a pretty decent game tonight, to be completely honest. He opens it up a little bit for Denis and them. You know what I mean? Tonight it was more he was opening it up for Martinez, but he does make that little bit of a threat because he can get up higher and then he can get back in time. But you know, I don't know, man. The whole thing around just wasn't good enough. Yes, Eustaquio made the midfield look better, but it still wasn't good enough, right? Chouanier just really he's okay, but he makes, I don't know, sort of softer plays. That's been one of my biggest complaints about Chouanier. But yeah, the team just was not good enough, and outside of a couple, a few really hustling and putting in effort, I didn't see any grit whatsoever from this team tonight.
You know what's sad too is that the left side is just so flawed for Denis, and I don't give Denis any type of free pass because I don't think he's played anywhere close to the level he needs to play for what they expect of him. He's
Yeah.
been disappointing this year, right?
I mean,
But when
disappointing. But then again, like I say, when he plays on the side with Hollingshead, he's able to get so much more of the ball, and he's a
creativity,
lot
right? Like
more.
yes,
Yeah.
way
But
more fluid.
With Segura there, that's playing left back, that's out of position. Also, we talked about Tillman being out of position. On it, Segura's playing out of position, and so the hate towards him is probably a little unfair, to be honest with you.
Well,
But
think about the left side though. He's got
he's been so
Segura
bad.
and Tillman behind him, dude. Who's going to look good with Segura and Tillman behind them, giving them service?
But he's been so bad, you know.
He's been
But it's
bad
like,
too, though. Yeah.
but again, he's out of position. So are we supposed to hammer him because that's what's happening? I'm hammering him. Everybody else is hammering him because, dude, you're not playing. But it's like, dude, this isn't my position. So who does that fall on? Right? Like, how in the hell don't we have a proper left back? That's JT. How don't we have someone filling in? The worst case scenario, just put three in the back, bro.
Hey, everyone, quick word from our sponsor, FanDuel. If you're into soccer like I am, you already know how exciting La Liga, the Premier League, and MLS matches can get. With FanDuel, you can make it even more fun by placing bets on your favorite teams and matches across all three leagues. Whether it's a Premier League showdown, a La Liga thriller, or an MLS game with your local club, FanDuel makes it easy and exciting to bet on what you watch. Just remember, you have to be 21 years or older to play. Please bet responsibly and only if you're of legal age and in a state where it's allowed. Download the FanDuel app or head over to fanduel.com, sign up, and get in on the action. Thanks for supporting the channel through FanDuel.
At this point, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? It's time and time again. It's the same thing over and over. We are on replay, bro. And it starts to get you even. I started getting annoyed hearing the same things come out of my mouth every single week, Will.
You know what's so funny too about Segura is that the logic for putting him back there was to make the defense stronger and sturdy.
Yes.
That's not working anymore.
It's not working anymore. They figured it out. They figured it out.
So now you got this dude back there who shouldn't be playing left back.
Yeah.
Playing left back to stop scoring goals, but the team is scoring goals. So now you have no service in the attack to make up for the goals you're letting in. And it's just a bad situation, right? It's just not working out. It's counterintuitive, man.
All around. Bad situation all around. You were talking about this Seattle game. You know, look, Seattle's sitting up at fourth place. We went from second place down to seventh. I think LAFC is going to have a hard one with Seattle, and we're going to see what happens with that, dude. And that will go to game 5 of losing if LAFC doesn't get it together. And the stat that you hit me with was what?
That they've never lost 5 games in a row before. This would be the first time in history. And real quick, the last time a guy on the team who's coached a team lost 4 games in a row, they fired him at the end of the year. And that guy was a guy who helped build this team. Bob
helped
Bradley.
build it. Yeah. And was the last time that we had an identity, a real identity. Look, I'm a fan, but you aren't, right? You're a fan of the league. What was the identity with Bob?
Attack, 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 man. It's beautiful. It's attack, attack, attack. That 4-3-3 was beautiful. Yeah. No, it was. High press.
Making the team uncomfortable. Playing to our ball, never play down to them. Attack, attack, attack. I don't give a crap if you have the ball. If you don't have the ball, you're putting pressure on them, making them uncomfortable. We haven't seen that since Bob Bradley.
That was 5 years ago.
But yet JT hammers and says that we're still the same identity, same club, same team. No, we're not. No, we are not. And if you can let Bob Bradley go, you can let Marc go now. Now, dude.
Well, I don't even think they should be asking for it. I think they should be demanding it. I think all the fans, it doesn't matter if you're LAFC since day one or if you're a Sunny fan, whoever it is, they need to be pushing for him to go bye-bye. Like, it's over, man. Like, he's done. LAFC is in 7th place right now, right? This was supposed to be the year where they win an MLS Cup because they have all this come together. A better coach, supposedly is what they said, who's going to be more like Bob Bradley. He's worse. He's unorganized. He doesn't know how to fill the game out. His substitutions are bad. And every single player outside of David Martinez has gotten worse under him. And the only reason I think David Martinez is playing better is because he's playing.
And we'll be lucky if we have him.
I think he's gone this summer. Yeah, I think they're going to sell him this summer. So it just feels like the team is just going to they're just going to keep digging their hole deeper and deeper. And if they don't make a change soon, then it's going to be beyond getting yourself out of the hole, and the season's going to be wasted. And Son Heung-min, who they spent all this money on to win the MLS Cup for, they've done him wrong. Denis Bouanga, they just gave a record deal to keep him. He's not getting the help he needs. No. So something's got to change.
And that will be 3 years without silverware. So this goes back to 3 months ago when we were talking. And then when I was on my show talking, why did we say when Dolo said, hey, I want out, if you knew you were going to bring Marc in, why wouldn't you see what Marc had done for that year? So then that was that one-off year, right? So you had a losing year with Dolo. Then you went into the year where he was going to leave, bring in Marc, see what happens. If not, you bring in the new coach, and then we're starting completely fresh. But instead, now we might have a chance of having 3 years without silverware, bro. That was not the standard. That was not what we were promised. That was not what they had said that we would be, or how LAFC's identity would be. We were going to be a team that pushes the envelope. We were going to be a team that makes the other clubs have to come up to our level. We are not doing that. We are not doing that. You see that Columbus Crew just fired their coach, fired their manager. You see Miami fired a manager. Even after they won, fired a manager, and then lost another manager because they were looking for a new manager. Like, there are teams out there that are saying, hey, this isn't good enough, and we're going to hold you at this standard. And LAFC is not one of them. We are a team that lets it ride out, and that has got to change. And the only way that changes is if JT stops hiring his friends, or if the owners get a sack, an actual sack of balls that they can say, we fire you, and we are bringing in someone else that doesn't hire their friends and that steps up and does it, dude. Like, it's at this point ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think the video we had at the beginning of the offseason that said this is the worst offseason LAFC has had is aging like wine, because it's I mean,
fine wine.
Yeah, I don't think LAFC, as bad as they were, I mean, they were bad last year before Sonny came, but this is really bad. This is bad, and it's a coaching issue. I said this: if one player's bad, then you blame the player. If all the players are playing bad, you blame the coach.
You blame the coach.
There's not something in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the coach. So we'll see what happens. Listen, Seattle's, right around the corner next week. That's it, Nick. And then they're off for 8 weeks.
8
right?
weeks.
8 weeks. So they're going to have some soul searching on this team in those 8 weeks and really think about what they want to do in the second part of the MLS season. Before we go, where can the people find your channel out, and what days do you stream?
Hey man, Voices of the Black and Gold, Mondays at 7 o'clock Pacific time, and we speak the truth and we say it loud and proud. And when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. And so come and check us out. I appreciate you having me on here, Will. This is always a great time being here. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe to this man. I think he's close to 13,000. I think he's 60. How many are you away from it?
I think it's like 50 now. So
50,
yeah.
50
Yeah.
away from 13,000. Make sure he gets there. But Will, I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Appreciate it, Nick. Make sure you guys check him out. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.